I ever start prototyping, I actually start thinking first. And so how do I do that? I go out into the market and see what the landscape is, understand who my competitors are, what they're creating to understand. Sometimes as a company, you have an idea of the kind of products you want to create. You have an idea of maybe the concepts or the market you want to get into, and kind of like understanding the lay of the land allows you to assess where you belong in that place, where maybe you don't even exist in that market and you're going to create a whole new one, and gaps or opportunities for the products to be, getting an understanding of what's existing there. Then you start researching before you even start prototyping. It's a lot of qualitative research. I go into homes with permission to talk with kids because I design young learner type products. I talk with the families, the parents, understanding the challenges in their kids' lives, and kind of be a silent observer. You know, there's things, emotional things that people aren't going to tell you about that's essential to include in your product experience that will help them improve their daily lives that they might lie about or not be comfortable to talk about. And being a silent observer, you can see that and help make that change. I also go into a lot of schools, a lot of different districts. I get a flavor of the whole economic landscape. That's essential. I design for everyone. And so going into schools and just observing classrooms, how teachers run day to day, seeing how students interact, you really get an understanding, once again, of the gaps, the opportunities, and the special things you can put into the product that's going to set you apart from others and make you that amazing special product that you know that everyone's going to be jealous that they wish they were selling. That's step 2. And then lastly, third step is actually start prototyping concepts based on all that information. I like to, sometimes the schedule doesn't always allow it, and you have to make quick decisions based on that. So the more research you do in the beginning, the stronger you'll be able to make quicker decisions and be cutthroat. It's great. But if you have the schedule and the budget and you can afford it, you develop multiple concepts, whole different platform ideas, all the way to different details and executions of that ideas to really understand. And then you start doing the iterative prototyping and testing process where you develop, you test, you refine, Our product is an integrated product, so it's both physical and digital software experiences. And so constantly testing those as they're being developed at the same time to make sure they're weaving well together, standing out on their own. And then lastly, our product teaches kids about the digital world and the physical world. And so we're constantly going back from the screen into the real world, into the screen. And so that's why we consider it really healthy screen time. But making sure we have that seamless flow is essential during testing. And so, really understanding how to observe, how to ask the right questions, and learning how to be a kind person so you can make those connections so people aren't afraid to talk to you. And making it clear what you're trying to do. So every time I'm in a classroom, I actually teach them about the research process. I'm like, I'm here to observe you so I can design a better product. And my goal is just to listen, observe, and not tell you how things are. And, and creating that trust by having that open dialogue. Some people are like, oh, how do you talk to a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old? And it's like, it's easy. It's just like hang out with your friends. I start by creating mood boards of concepts, material goals, concept goals. I make a lot of user flows and maps of the experience from out of box to the final experience, little details. I develop personas and archetype kind of maps as well to understand the different kind of users we're going to be designing for and the different challenges. That's when the research and observing out in the real world can really help fill in those important details about in your maps that when you're making a quick decision of should we have this feature or not, you're like, well, I'm thinking about Sylvia. Oh, she didn't like that. And she had such a strong emotional response. Let's remove it. In a lot of traditional organizations that have, we're a small startup, and in a normal organization, you have all this money for funding, so they can do all this amazing quantitative testing where they test with thousands of people. We're a small organization. I run our testing actually. And so I don't have time to test with 1,000 people. So making sure you find archetypes and don't limit yourself on those archetypes. See them as just the opportunities and kind of just as guiding marks to make decisions so you can quickly cut or include features.